Did you know that a simple 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, yes, that tiny copper coin that says 1 cent on the back, might be worth far more than you ever imagined? That's right. While most people glance over these old pennies without a second thought, collectors know something most don't. Some 1935 wheat pennies can be worth serious money. Let's dive into the fascinating story of the 1935 wheat penny, what it's really worth, what makes it valuable, and why it might be one of the coolest coins still floating around in collections, coin shops, and even your grandparents' change jar. So, picture this. It's the year 1935. The world is still recovering from the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt is president. The economy is slowly stabilizing, and in the U.S., the average person earns about $1,500 a year. But that little penny, it still plays a big role in everyday life. And what does it look like? It's the same iconic design that started in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the front, Lincoln stares proudly forward. On the back, 2 wheat ears flank the words 1 cent and United States of America. Hence the nickname, the wheat penny. Now, the 1935 wheat penny wasn't especially rare when it was first made. In fact, millions were minted. Here's a breakdown of the mintage numbers for that year. 1935, Philadelphia 245,388,000 coins. 1935, D. Denver Mint 47 million coins. 1935, S. San Francisco Mint 38,702,000 coins. That's well over 300 million total. But don't let those big numbers fool you. Just because something was common back then doesn't mean it's common now, especially in high grades or with unique errors. Let's talk value. If you've got a 1935 wheat penny in average circulated condition, it might only fetch between 5 cents and $1. That's not much, right? But if your coin is in mint state condition, we're talking crisp details, full original red luster, no scratches, then the game completely changes. A 1935 Lincoln cent graded MS65 red can be worth anywhere from $50 to $150, depending on the grading service and eye appeal. And for even higher grades, like MS67, you're looking at $700 to $1,500 plus, especially for well-struck Philadelphia issues. But here's where things get even more exciting: rare varieties and mint errors. Let's start with one of the most searched-for types in the coin world: double die errors. While the 1935 wheat penny doesn't have an officially recognized major double die variety like the famous 1955 cent, some examples do show minor doubling on the obverse, especially in the motto, "In God We Trust," or on the word, "Liberty." These small errors can sometimes boost the coin's value, especially to collectors who focus on error coins. Another possible error? Off-center strikes. Imagine your 1935 penny struck slightly off-target, so part of the design is missing. The more dramatic the off-center, the more it might be worth, some fetching $50, $100, or more, depending on the percentage of off-centering and how much of Lincoln's portrait is still visible. Then there are repunched mint marks, RPMs, especially on the 1935 D and 1935 S coins. These happen when the mint mark was punched into the die more than once in slightly different positions. It's a subtle detail, but it can be a big deal to the right buyer. Now let's talk about color and grading, a major factor in the coin's value. Most circulated wheat pennies turn brown over time. That's totally normal. But uncirculated examples come in 3 colors: brown, BN, red-brown, RB, and red, RD. A bright red coin, especially in mint state condition, is far more valuable than a dull brown one. And grading isn't just about shine. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC use the Sheldon scale, from 1 to 70, to rate coins. Anything graded MS60 and up is considered uncirculated. A 1935 wheat penny graded MS67 RD is truly exceptional and rare. So what's the bottom line here? If you have a 1935 wheat penny, don't just toss it in with the rest of your change. Check the date, check for a mint mark, look at its condition, and see if it has any interesting errors. A little time and attention could turn that old penny into a collector's item worth far more than face value. Collectors around the world are still chasing this humble 1-cent coin. Why? Because it's more than just copper. It's history. It's mystery. It's the thrill of the hunt. The 1935 Lincoln wheat penny might not seem like a big deal at first glance, but trust us, it's a tiny coin with a huge story. And who knows, maybe your 1935 penny is the one worth big money.